This video could trigger you or make you feel uncomfortable.
People that make you feel uncomfortable are uncomfortable themselves. Those people knew that they were in the wrong. I knew that they were in the wrong, but I was scared to speak up. So I thought, because I'm not Greek, I don't look Greek, and I've already got a lot of prejudice against my person, I think the best thing to do is just be quiet. Today, I want to talk to you about how to stop biting your tongue to make other people feel comfortable. You ready? Let's go. Okay, people, what's up? How you doing? Yes, I know. I'm back on the screen. I'm back on YouTube. I'm back live and full of energy. Today, I wanted to really look at how you can be more confident and more authentic in very uncomfortable situations. For those of you who are watching for the first time, I am a trainer, coach, and lifestyle motivator, and I help shy female leaders to be more confident and authentic when speaking. So if you don't know me, you want to talk to me, you can always join me in my group, which is called the Authentic Voices on Facebook. The link is below. I've actually spoken about this topic in one of my Facebook Live a few months ago. And I spoke about it because I noticed that a lot of the women that I work with oftentimes feel uncomfortable speaking to people about things that really matter to them. For example, someone tells you something or says something out of line that really puts you in a completely different state. You don't know how to reply, or you are with your boss or with your colleagues and they say something that really upsets you and you still don't know what to say. How do you deal with those kind of situations? As I said at the beginning, most of the time, people that make you feel uncomfortable are uncomfortable themselves. I was away in Greece doing some international work, and I was working with refugees. One of the things that I learned by going over there in Greece was that people were uncomfortable because of the color of my skin. I'm a quite warm and friendly person. It is something that I've never had a problem with whilst working overseas, whilst, traveling. People are curious, but people are never usually uncomfortable because of the color of my skin. I've never come across too intimidating or scary to people. One thing that I realized was that it really didn't matter what I said, how I sounded, or the fact that I'm Congolese British, or that I grew up in Europe or France or London or whatever. It just did not matter to them. Or what schools I had been to, it really didn't matter. They looked at me and automatically had an assumption. And it's really uncomfortable when you have to work with people like that, or when you have to live in this environment where people automatically make a decision on how they're going to react towards you. Now, I don't know about you, but I like people, and I like getting to know people, and I like connecting with people. So this was really an uncomfortable situation. So if you've ever been in those uncomfortable situations, leave it in the comment below and I will respond. So one of the things that an incident that happened, there were several incidents that happened whilst I was out working in Greece, but I'll start with a light incident because I don't want to scare you and I'll tell you the other incidents another day. The incident that actually got me to get uncomfortable was a day I went to the post office. I had ordered some hair products and lots of things, women's stuff for myself. And the quarantine had started and my friends were supposed to send it to me, and I'd waited for a while and nothing was coming through from the post office. And every day I would go to the post office and there were queues and queues of people, and I would just go home and I thought, forget this, I'm not going to do this. And so this one day I went to the post office and I started queuing. And at first I was standing next to this young black man behind the queue. And I remember as I was standing there, we were standing and there were maybe like 4 people in front of us. All of a sudden, a woman came in and just cut in front of us, like in the queue. And I thought to myself, okay, this is interesting. Did she really do that? So she went in front of us and she started talking to another woman. And I thought, well, she looks older. The other woman looks younger. Might be her mom. I don't know. Something like that. I didn't think anything of it because I thought, you know what? There's no point me getting upset. I'm in someone else's country. I just need to adapt and just get with the queue and things will be fine. So as we waited, she started talking and then another person came through. This time it was an older man, her husband. And at this stage, I'm thinking to myself, do you know what, yeah? I'm really annoyed right now. I'm actually cheesed off. I need to say something. But I felt really uncomfortable actually saying. The first reason I felt uncomfortable because I do not speak Greek very well. I mean, I spoke a few phrases like, hello, how are you? How is your day? Can I order a hot chocolate? I don't know what you're saying. Go away, come here, blah, 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 whatever. But I didn't know how to express myself in those specific words to say, excuse me, but you're cutting in the line, you're pushing in the line. I could have said it in English because they do understand English. But I really wanted to say something that they could connect to because I totally understand the power of language and the way someone's language can have an impact when it's spoken in your own language and you will listen. Okay? Do you know what I'm saying? So this man comes in and cuts the queue. And at this time I thought to myself, you know what, Mathy, I need to say something because this is too much. So I get out my phone and Google Translator. Praise God for that. So I get out Google Translator and I start translating, excuse me, but you're pushing in the queue. The queue starts here, behind me. And so I say a little bit loud, excuse me, in Greek, you are pushing in the queue, which actually sounds like you are pressing the queue. So I say this to the lady and they look at me like, who is this weird black lady telling us that we are pushing in the queue in our country at the post office? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm a human being. You can't do that. So they look at me and they say, us? We're pushing in the queue? And I said, yes, you are pushing in your queue. And so as they are, acting as though they didn't understand, so I started to get really irate, and I was explaining to them, this is really bad. What you're doing is really, really bad. And just as I started to say something, and at this stage I was annoyed and I thought to myself, okay, I'm not gonna blow up, but I knew it was getting there. So the next thing, another lady jumps in the queue. And at this stage, I was shouting. I was like, you and you and you and you and you and you are all pushing in your queue and you are very, very, very bad people. Bad people. Yeah, I love that word in Greek. So yes, I couldn't control myself, and all I could hear was a lovely lady started arguing with me in English. We're not pushing in the queue. Someone else was arguing in Greek. We're not pushing in the queue. And obviously, as it happens, another lady said to me, well, you need to go back to your country. And I said to her, well, actually, I would love to go back to my country, but unfortunately, the planes to the UK are not actually flying. So unfortunately, I'm stuck here. But if you want, you can send me back. Since I'm just from Europe, you can just send me back down the road. As I kept talking, as I kept arguing with these people, there was just so much discomfort. But I thought, I'm going to push myself and I'm going to speak up, because I knew that if I did not speak up, I would be waiting here for a whole day. And we had been waiting at the post office for already maybe 45 minutes. So at this stage, all I could see, people in front of the queue talking and talking. I could tell they were talking about me. Obviously, the black lady at the back saying something about people pushing in front of the queue. And the young gentleman in front of me who didn't know what to say because he was a refugee, an African refugee. And he just said, I can't say anything. I don't have papers and I can't say anything. And I'm just really gonna stay quiet. And I said to him, look, if they try to push in, we are all going to push in with them, because what they're doing is absolutely disgusting. And so I heard another person shouting, I'm not going to take this. This is unacceptable. And I said, yeah, you know what? You're right. It is unacceptable. We are all human beings right here. And we all deserve to do the right thing. So when you see other people, you actually communicate with them and you say, excuse me, please. Are you in the queue? You don't just push in front of them. It is actually rude, regardless of what country you are. And even if you're not from that country, it is absolutely disrespectful. Imagine you coming to my country and me doing that to you. You wouldn't be happy. And yes, I kept talking. By this time I was speaking in English. I didn't realize I said all these things. And a funny thing happened. The people in front of the queue, two or three people at least, actually dropped out of the queue. And the husband of the woman who pushed in front of us also dropped out of the queue and apologized. However, the woman didn't apologize and she just stayed in front of us. So I asked the gentleman in front of me and I said to him, look, we're going to move forward. Don't be afraid. We're just going to move forward. And we moved forward all the way to the top of the queue, just in the right order as we were supposed to. And we finally got to the queue and I got my first parcel. Whew. I can actually talk about this today because right now I feel so freed about talking about this. But if you asked me to talk about this specific situation a few months ago, I called up one of my girlfriends and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill these bloody people. And trust me, it was not funny. It was not funny. I needed therapy for that. What do I want to teach you about this specific incident? Those people knew that they were in the wrong. I knew that they were in the wrong, but I was scared to speak up. So I thought, because I'm not Greek, I don't look Greek, and I've already got a lot of prejudice against my person, I think the best thing to do is just be quiet. And that is the wrong approach. Regardless of who you are, your background, and how you come across, you've got to speak up. If you're a woman, for example, working in a completely male-dominated environment, you have to say something. You know, you have to be assertive and speak up in your workplace. You've got to learn how to present yourself. You've got to learn to embrace that person that you are. And don't get me wrong, it's not that easy. But if you don't, then what's going to happen is you're going to blow up. And we don't want any of that. We want you to be rational. We want you to speak so you can be heard. And that is what I teach. I teach women how to present with confidence and be more authentic when they speak, regardless of the situation that they're in. So I want you to take this lesson, this story, as a lesson for you to take action. I want you guys to learn that you've got to start practicing these things. Yes, it is uncomfortable to talk about the things that make you uncomfortable, and you're putting your emotions on the line. And I'm learning now, because also I'm going through coaching for other areas in my life. And I'm learning that you've got to be vulnerable, and it's hard. It is a hard thing to do. It is not an easy thing to do. But trust me, if you start speaking up slowly, just by, for example, writing down what you're going to say. For example, for me, I wrote down in that specific second on my Google Translator, excuse me, you are pushing in the queue. I wasn't rude. I wasn't out of line. I spoke gently at first and I wasn't heard, so I raised my voice a little bit and I still wasn't heard. And then, of course, I went to the next level. I guess it was fair for me to express myself that way. But what I really want you guys to do is not be afraid. Yes, there are people who will always make you feel uncomfortable, but guess what? They are uncomfortable themselves, just like those people that moved back and that left the queue because they knew they were in the wrong. I would love to hear from you about any current situation that you've actually faced, or you are facing? Is there anything that you want to learn how to say? Leave it in the comment below. Believe me, this was an uncomfortable situation for me to talk about, but I am so happy I was able to share this with you so I can be in front of you today and tell you about this. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you loved it, please like and share with a friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.